Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to another exciting episode of the Glass Academy Webinars 2024, where with each episode, we delve into a little deeper to the remarkable world of glass. Today, we have a fascinating topic that has transformed interior spaces for decades: glass as a design element, enhancing aesthetics and functionality in interiors. Glass, with its versatile nature, plays a pivotal role in modern architecture. It not only enhances the visual appeal of interiors by maximizing natural light and creating an open, expansive feel, but it also serves functional purposes such as energy efficiency, noise reduction, and safety. From transparent partitions to stunning facades to interior decorative panels, glass offers a world of endless possibilities for innovation. Join us as we explore how glass can redefine spatial dynamics and provide a striking balance between aesthetics and practicality in residential interiors. In the realm of interior design, glass is not merely a material, but a powerful design element that bridges the gap between form and function. From creating breathtaking visual appeal to optimizing natural light and spatial perception, glass has the potential to redefine the way we experience our living and working environments. Through this webinar session, we will explore how glass can be employed in innovative ways to enhance both aesthetics and functionality of the spaces. Join us as we uncover the myriad ways glass can be harnessed to elevate design, infuse elegance, and bring practical solutions to modern interiors. To take us through this subject, we have with us an extreme expert in this field, architect Divya from Archemist Architects based out of Bengaluru. Archemist Architects was started as a collaborative architecture practice by an architect couple, Divya and Yogesh. They share a common love for architecture and innovation in construction. The architects bring in their expertise in sustainable design methodologies in combination with construction management, which is very essential in any building design. The mantra they follow is architecture should be innovative, easy on the conscious, and easy on the pocket. Divya graduated from MS Ramaiah Institute of Technology with a gold medal in architecture. Her passion towards environmentally responsible architecture led her to further specialize in this field, and she procured a master's in advanced sustainable design from the University of Edinburgh, Scotland. She established Archemist Architects as a partnership architectural practice along with her husband Yogesh VN in 2014, and is striving towards making a difference with respect to environmentally sustainable buildings in the city. Welcome, Architect Divya. We are thrilled to have you with us today and eagerly participate your insightful presentation on glass as a design element, enhancing aesthetics and functionality in interiors.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Shruti. Absolute pleasure to be here. And in over 10 years of our practice, we've completed almost 100 residences and commercial complexes. And I don't think we've done without glass in any of them. So really excited to be here and share some of our fun projects and the process and the design philosophy behind the use of glass in all the projects.
We'll be delving into how each space, whether it's a living room, kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom, presents unique opportunities for creativity and functionality. From material choices to spatial planning, we'll explore tailored design solutions that enhance both the utility and beauty of every corner of your home. To start with, we will start with the living room space, which is the multifaceted gathering space. What are some innovative ways you have integrated glass features into your living room designs to add a touch of elegance? Can you share any examples or specific techniques from your previous ongoing projects?
Well, yes. First of all, we need to, I would just like to share how living rooms have evolved in terms of interior design these days. It's not just a cozy space where the family gets together, and it's not something as personal anymore. It becomes the fascia of the entire residence, and people want to sort of use the best of the materials, and it gives the first impression of the entire space. And I feel glass is one of those very modern and sophisticated, and I think not very till a very recent time, it was considered to be slightly more commercial and very delicate material that people could not handle in residences. But we've seen that trend change, and the way we have introduced glass in various ways we were surprised how accepting the clients were of it. And we've put up, I've made a presentation of some images of a few living rooms where glass has not only been the highlight, but we've used it in various ways. So I'll go ahead and share the screen right away. Yes, so this is one of the living rooms in one of our very high-end residence projects. It was a double height living room, and as you can see, the open planning is something which is very popular. And what we also enhance in terms of interiors, so it becomes, the entire house becomes very inclusive of each other. But then the a disadvantage with an open planning is that everybody is always in visual contact with each other. And in that way, we have solved that problem using glass in this particular living room. If you can see in the right hand corner, we have a small glass detailing. I think in the next image it becomes. Yes, so this was actually designed to be a partition between the foyer of the foyer and the main door, getting into the living room. So when we open the main door, this was actually one of the highlight feature over there. So in terms of not only just design, but adding a partition design. This is actually a laser cut textured frosted glass. This is the inside view. So from the living, there is no actual visual of the main door. So any guests who come do not get a complete view of the living room, maintaining privacy as well as not blocking the lot of light which is coming from the east, which is where the main door is located over here. So it is a beautiful sort of a combination between functionality as well as aesthetics. And not just that, it is a hero element in that particular foyer, and it is the wow factor when someone walks into the space.
Perfect. Yes.
This is just another visual of the same space. And here I think you can even see there is a 3D etching done on the glass. So that way glass is a very, it has this very sort of a delicate look and feel to it, even though it's such a sturdy material. So we've used the design to its maximum. So that small area of glass, we are punching in a lot of design over there. So that was one of the living room. Similar aspect in terms of the function which we have used, which is a partition glass. In this particular living room, it opens into a double height courtyard where this beautiful chandelier was there. And if there was anything else other than a glass there, we would have missed looking at that beautiful chandelier from the living room. So glass, of course, was our first preference. One, in terms of safety, so nobody falls into that double height void. Secondly, we have the visual of the chandelier. And thirdly, we added some textural frosting and acid etching on the glass, through which the light comes through, and it also adds the design element of the living room. And even though there are so many other design elements happening here, just this transparent glass with that subtle design just adds a bit of luxury, and it's not exactly jarring. So the glass in this living room was particularly used for that. I wanted to show you something really special here. We actually picked up these really beautiful glass table, and if you can see, there is a nice artwork, which was a solid block of glass, which has, I think, when they poured it, they had kept some twigs inside. So these were some elements from a design fair we picked up for a client. But these glass elements are exactly the exciting features in this particular space. Now, this is a double height area. It's the first floor of the living room. So, of course, the very functional aspect of glass, we've used it as a balustrade. And we did not want to lose sight of, again, that chandelier and that double height big mocha. It was a very expensive marble that we have put there on that double height wall. So we didn't want anything to block that view. So this is the view from the first floor living room into that double height area. And we can also see there is a round glass, stained glass element there, which was something very particularly some religious belief the client had, and he wanted something to depict the sun over there. So we had an artist draw up something in stained glass. So there are various aspects of glass being used here. Again, on the right, if you can see, we have this printed glass, which has this very white, it's just like a hand sketch, it's like a doodle art. This was a glass partition between the study area and the living room. So again, we did not want to close off that room completely, because these were young kids who were studying there, and I think the parents always wanted visual of what they were up to. Right. So it's just a nice designer glass partition, and very sleek, and sort of added to the sophistication of the entire interiors in this particular house.
That's really great as to how you have used different, even in glass with different finishes at different areas in the living room itself. So now we will move on to the bedroom designs. How do you creatively use glass or mirror accents in a bedroom design to balance elegance and privacy? And how does it actually impact the overall ambience of the space? Kindly take us through some of your designs and what do you think are the emerging trends in bedroom designs?
Right. First of all, I think again bedrooms are a space which I think in terms of materials have a little more softer touch, and it's more into soft furnishing and fabric. And surprisingly, now glass also has some finishes on it. Like we have glass sandwiched, which where we can use a fabric sandwich. So they're not worried about how to clean this fabric at all times because it has a safety secure glass in front of it. We have done the cane sandwich in between glass, so glass in combination with a lot of softer textural materials is what I think is the in trend in terms of bedroom design. More, I'll show you. Maybe shall I start sharing the screen now? So this was one of the very grand master suites of the house, which goes into a walk-in. And but even though this was a very tight space, I think the high reflection of the mirrors and the windows and the glass elements over here are giving that sort of reflection in terms of the visual space of the room. In fact, on the left hand of the bed, we can see we've just inserted a nice long mirror, which makes the wardrobe looks like it's like an infinity wardrobe, so it just adds that little extra depth to the room. And this bedroom, another bedroom of this house, we had used the glass for the walk-in wardrobe. Now, I would like to talk about this room because it was a very unconventional choice in terms of color as well as the scale and size. But when everything came together, then I think the client was finally convinced that yes, this was the right choice for this space. So this was a very small and tight walk-in wardrobe space. In fact, how much you can see the measurement, it's about that, it's just that size. So first of all, we introduced because it was the architecture as well that we did, we introduced a skylight in that area which gave in a lot of natural light. So then we did not have to shy away from lighter colors, so we went for an all black glass shutter for these wardrobes, and we added gold rims just to add that little luxurious element to the whole thing. Now, the way the picture has been taken, also, you can see how the glass is reflecting the visual space of the room. So once you enter the space, you almost feel like you're in a room which is 4 times the size. And that was one of the main reasons that we use glass here because of its reflective surfaces. We didn't want to use 100% mirror, then it would just look like a hall of mirrors and it'd be confusing. So we used black lacquered glass, which brought down the reflection to a minimum extent. And thirdly, the length of these glass panels that we got were just perfect for that size. So it's not something that we had to cut and it wasn't looking messy on the edges. So these small details add to the luxury of the entire element. So these single pane glasses with these gold rims just made the entire space look very, very manageable. And of course, maintenance for these high-end luxury and massive houses become one of the A priority. So because of this glass, I think they didn't have any problem with it. And this picture was literally taken, I think, 6 years after the clients moved in. So you can see the cleaning and everything is just the material basically doesn't age. Glass, I feel, is like an ageless material. Right. So yes, this was the example for the bedroom areas.
That's very differently done, actually. Not many people utilize lacquer glass for most of the areas nowadays. So now moving on to the heart of the home, which is the kitchen and its design. Can you provide examples of how lacquered glass has been incorporated into kitchen designs? And what are some of the key considerations that you had taken into account while using at this setting?
Yes, nowadays, again, as I said about the living room, the kitchen itself has become like the heart of the whole house. And the kitchen holds a big reputation in terms of what are the new things they have used and how high tech it is. But all of that is what I think the guests talk about. As the homeowner, the client's first and A priority is to maintain the kitchen to be stain free, easy to maintain, and doesn't break, durability. And I think glass is one material which checks all these components. So that was, I think, most of our kitchens are in glass. And I would like to show you one such kitchen of the house where I can explain in detail. Yes, so this is one kitchen. In fact, when it was designed, this kitchen was double in size. And then later the client decided saying, okay, no, we want one show kitchen and one utility kitchen. So the kitchen became very small. Now, because the space constraint was already there, one of our immediate first reaction for having the wall dado was to have glass to have that reflective element to it. So visually, the room looks much bigger than it already is. If any of these were just solid color walls, or even though we've used a gray color glass, if I just switch that gray color glass to a gray color paint, then all of that reflection goes away and it becomes a very finite space. But because of the glass and the reflection, that sort of infinite reflection happens, and so you almost feel like you're in a much larger space. So that was one of the main reasons. And again, glass dado is actually one of the easiest materials to clean, just behind the stove, because as you know, in our Indian kitchens, even though with chimney, without chimney, there's a lot of oil which gets stuck on that particular tile, and glass is one of the easiest to clean, also because of course there are so many materials. You have the sprays and the glass cleaner, which is 100% it works, whereas I think a tile grout or a marble or anything else has a definite disadvantage in terms of backsplash. Now, this kitchen, not only we've used the glass for the backsplash, but you can see the under counter as well as the over counter shutters have been clad in glass. And because we thought there is enough reflection in this space, we went for a matte lacquered glass. So this is something I think not a lot of people have seen, but when you actually have the sample in your hand, then I'm sure you will not go for anything else, because it has that very sophisticated feel to it, very smooth surface, and that matte surface almost looks like it doesn't look like glass, so it doesn't look as delicate or something which will break easily. It's a very, very durable material. This is one more view of the same room, so you can see even the color combination is very subtle, because this was an open kitchen and it had to match with the rest of the house. So we've kept it very, very simple, and the glass really comes through. And the shutters, the full length shutters, again, you will not see any lines in between. So these subtle details that we really look into, these minute details in terms of interiors, but in the overall picture, it's very rewarding when all of that sort of comes together. And this was one such kitchen. Now, this is a very interesting kitchen that we did really long ago. It was a very compact house, and the floor plate is just 400 square feet. So it's a living, dining, and a kitchen within that small, tight space. And this is just about how much the kitchen was. And the whole house, because of the space constraint, was just white and black. But then the client itself was such a vibrant personality. He was yearning for something which screams his personality. He wanted something fun and vibrant. So we actually used red backsplash, and we could boldly use a red backsplash glass only because it was in a smaller area. So we would sort of pack that punch in a small area without making it completely jarring. And again, this also adds to that reflection and just adds that little tinge of splash of color to the whole house. This is another view from the living room. So as you can see, the flooring, the walls, everything is 70% white, and maybe a little bit of gray accents here and there. So white, gray, and the red really comes through. And of course, the functional aspect of glass I've already spoke about. But in terms of colored glass, I think any color glass gives that very uniform matte effect. So that's what we kind of achieved over here.
So now that we are concentrating on lacquer glass, why do you think do you prefer lacquer glass over other materials for the kitchen, other than the maintenance point of view? Do you have anything to add on to that particular?
Well, I think first of all, recently I was very excited to hear the endless color options that are there in lacquered glass, and it's almost like there's no compromise, and I think every shade emotes very differently, and sometimes we take hours just running through just different shades of blue or different shades of green. So one, of course, we have no compromise in terms of which exact shade we're going on, but I think one of the main advantage also is the tough, just how sleek the surface is, and no veneer or laminate will offer that level of like it's that thickness, and it's just a plain sheet of glass, the reflection. And again, I think when it's made well with like good fitting, it will hold well. And kitchen is one of the most used spaces, so I think you should definitely splurge on. Of course, glass is much expensive compared to the lower end option, but it's totally worth because durability is something which we will not compromise on in that space. Yes.
That's great. So now, since we covered the living bedroom and the kitchen, now we will go on to the private spaces, which are some of the most important spaces of the house, which is the restrooms. What are some innovative ways to incorporate glass into bathroom designs to enhance both style and functionality, such as, in partitions or even mirrors or even storage solutions? What do you think that how do you think glass adds to this? And please take us through some of your projects that highlight the usage of glass.
Yes, I think in bathrooms, of course, glass has been accepted much before in terms of partition design, mirror, and all of those are very functional elements. But now, in terms of the sheer options and how we can install that glass, those glass rims are adding that extra level of sophistication and extra level of it adds to the whole interior look. So I will just share with you a few of our projects. So this is one of the ultra luxurious bathrooms, I would say, where the entire bathroom was clad in marble and onyx, and we have this backlit onyx counter, a lot of light, a lot of reflection. But again, every element which is there is not there just for its looks. Of course, I think same as the kitchen and bathroom, the functionality, the maintenance, the durability takes top priority. And of course, the aesthetics is something we as architects will definitely infuse into. So here we've done full height wall partitions for glass for the shower, as well as we've done twin mirrors. And I think one of the mirror you can even it's reflecting the window on which we had done we had used printed glass on the windows, which has a nice natural waterfall effect. I'll show you one more bathroom which has another printed image, and this is something which adds to the overall look and feel inside the bathroom, where it feels sophisticated as well as easy to maintain, and also adds that touch of luxury. Also, we have introduced this window at the right on the top at the sill level, where you can see. And so we've used clear glass in the bathroom, which everybody was like, "Oh, how could we use this?" But this is sure, I think, depending on our site availability, maybe later we will be going for a frosting if say another building comes up there. But then we had a very nice tree canopy over there.
Nice.
So we went for that window with a clear glass where we have a nice natural look view outside. So not only does it bring in a lot of light, bring in a lot of nature, but everything is so cohesive. We cannot think of this bathroom without any of the elements which are already introduced, especially in terms of glass.
Right.
This is another bathroom. Again, here also you can see the printed glass and where we've used this. So this was a dual function. It's not only 100% frosted, but because of that image, it adds so much color because this is a monochrome bathroom. And each of these images, this is one of the kids' room. So we gave the option of the image to the child so that, there is some decision making that they're also involved in, and they were very excited. And here you can see this bathroom also has a skylight. So there also, again, we have used frosted glass because the skylight is open to the terrace. So we have double layer of protection in terms of safety as well as privacy. So it's 100% frosted glass on the ceiling, what you can see, which is bringing a lot of natural light to this bathroom.
Nice.
And of course, now we have these LED mirrors where you can customize different shapes and sizes through which light comes in, and the touch option. So this is one such mirror where we wanted the same hexagon patterns which the client had chosen for the tile. So similar hexagon patterns we gave, and then we got a mirror customized which matches with the tiling. So just to have a cohesive look.
That's very nice and innovative to see different usage of glass in different restroom areas. Now moving on to the puja room design. How do you balance traditional elements with modern design principles to create a puja room that is both functional and aesthetically pleasing?
Yes, puja room is again the biggest status symbol there is in the house. It's located in the heart of your home, and it is something which has to be pristine at all times. So you will not see an unkept puja room these days. And then again, in terms of functionality, glass again takes top priority over there, especially for the doors, because we are doing such beautiful designs and we want that transparency. So I'll quickly just share the screen and we'll go through the images. So this is a puja room where not just the doors are used, but the entire the walls of the puja room were glass. It's basically a glass puja room. How this design evolved was first the position of the facing of the god was in a different direction. But then, as per Vastu and some constraint the client had, we had to change the direction, and the door was facing a blank wall. If I can show you in this image, yes. So then we were, of course, we were perplexed if we had to put a plain wall there. The entire visual of that beautiful puja room was gone, and then we couldn't actually enjoy the view. And this is in a semi-private area of the house, which is in the dining. So then we went for an all-glass puja room, and thanks to the glass, whatever we have done on the inside is clearly unhindered, and we get a beautiful look through it. And so people don't bang themselves into the glass. We went ahead with some beautiful etching work like raindrops. So you can see these this teardrop shaped etching acid etched textured glass that we have put over there. So I felt this was like a good balance between the traditional as well as contemporary. And when somebody looks at this puja room, it doesn't look like a glass lift or something. They were like, wow, this actually looks really, really modern, yet the whole sanctity and the religiousness of this puja room is not hindered. So glass was, it was accepted in a way where it was not even a debatable option. They were like, yes, this looks fantastic, let's just go ahead with it. So there was just the right amount of wood. We didn't skimp on the wood vascal. And you can see even the glass, the handle of the door was made in glass, so we did not want to hinder what we had done inside. So this was one of the very popular puja rooms, and we get multiple requests to recreate this. And one of the main ideas also was, because the dining length was quite short, because of using the glass wall for the puja room, the visual length of the dining also sort of extended, and it doesn't look like there is a box there in the center, in the corner of the room, which is cutting into the floor plate.
Yes.
Similar concept we used for another puja room as well. Again, same concept that we did because of the facing of the puja room. We wanted to have some glass, but here it was a larger puja room, so we've done some glass sandwich with some MDF laser cut and some textured glass for the door. This was another puja room which had a skylight in it, so there was a lot of ethereal light coming in through the puja room into the house. So we've used textured glass for the door, so even when the door is closed, you don't have 100% visibility of inside. There's privacy for their objects, but then the light from the skylight comes through, so the door is always sort of glowing through the textured frosted glass. So this was another concept that we used for the puja room.
That's very nice. Now we'll come to the external areas and almost towards the end of our webinar today. What types of glass and glazing treatments do you recommend for skylights and canopies to balance natural light that's getting inside a home? Thermal insulation and some other safety concerns in, different climatic conditions.
Right. So I think skylights is something that I think in the tropics we can absolutely embrace, because there's so much light which comes in, and thanks to the open planning of the houses and the architecture allows us to sort of embrace these aspects. But then, of course, for the latitude where we are, it definitely brings in a lot of heat. And of course, that has been addressed so beautifully by the glass companies itself. You have the double glazed glass, you have that neon air filled glass, and also we have the sort of you have the film which cuts down the solar gain. So number one criteria, the number one problem is already solved. Secondly, I think the visual, I personally love to keep the complete transparent glass for skylights where you can see the sky, because Bangalore skies are really, really beautiful. And of course, we've done a few projects in Chennai, and of course, I think it's not like Scottish skies where it's all gray and you want to just sleep. So the blue sky is something we really embrace. I'll show you a couple of projects. Yes, so this is one view. So this is a view from the internal courtyard of a house, where, of course, this house was in such a tight urban context that we did not have visual of any trees around the house. So we created our own green courtyard, which was a double height space. And the green wall, when you look up, you look into this beautiful, clear skylight glass. And so that visual is unhindered. And this being a very not a private zone, it's a courtyard where you're enjoying your coffee or tea. So we did not want to do the frosting. Otherwise, you would wonder if it's like a security aspect. If someone's standing in the terrace, they can look right inside the house. So it is thoughtfully designed to a place which does not require any privacy. And also, of course, that area on top, if I could have a view from the terrace, is fenced off. So it is not something that someone can easily come and peep into. But the clear glass for this terrace is just perfect for this space. So that is the top view, and this is how beautifully the light filters through the green area. So the green really comes to life when it's like lit naturally by the sunlight. So you really feel like you're in a tropical forest, and where the houses next door have not even left like 1 feet of setback. And lighting, and when lighting was one of the main criteria when building this house, the client was so worried, saying our house will look dark, houses will look dark. But then this courtyard just infuses so much light. And thanks to the skylight. That's no, it was a non-negotiation over there in terms of skylight. This is one more house where we had done, it's a central courtyard, and the gap between the stairs, what you can see is where the puja room is housed, right in the middle of the house. So we wanted a lot of skylight which can bathe the entire house with natural light. And here I think we have gone for clear glass, but we've done some very thick railing design. So the visual angles are taken care of in terms of privacy. But again, a lot of light coming in from the ceiling.
Nice.
In terms of outdoor spaces, we also love to use, even though you're on the terrace, you still want to see this gorgeous Bangalore sky. So we've done, we used a metal fabrication roof, which is laser cut in this, the nature inspired theme in this. And we just use a nice design of this coconut leaf. And then we have a glass on top. So this takes care of, in the evening, when it's lit, it looks really, really beautiful, and just adds that extra, touch of design element. And because the glass really takes care of all the rain, and the shelters given without hindering the view of the top canopy. This is another view of this canopy during the evening, the golden hour. It looks really beautiful, and you can imagine. I always like to imagine otherwise. If that glass and that laser cut was not there, there's really not much to this roof. So it really adds so much more, as one of the most celebrated spaces on the terrace. Similar concept we used for another home, which has a similar combination of glass and metal roof. And in here you can see we've also cordoned off the terrace because they didn't want absolutely any rain there, because it was a very, this is almost on the 5th floor, so there's a lot of wind and rain. So we added windows also. But because it's glass, you kind of forget that it's almost an indoor space, because the roof is covered and the walls are covered, but you still feel you're in the outdoor. And I think that is the beauty of glass. And
so with this, we actually come to the end of the webinar today. Thank you so much, Architect Divya, for that insightful walkthrough of your wonderful projects. Would you like to share with us 3 or 4 lines as a conclusion here?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us. And I really had to dig through some projects to show you the best of the works. But apart from all these designer elements, it's just the functional aspect of this material itself is really amazing. And how even the companies are slowly adapting to the needs of the hour in terms of interior design, especially in terms of either bent glass or the curves, and they're taking care of it so well. So it's one of definitely the leading and the most promising interior design material. And of course, there are so many other works which I could not show because maybe we hadn't documented them well. One of my favorite glass applications is the butch glass. It gives a very, very nice effect, and the lighting is very magical. So we love to experiment. So the thing is, once we know the structural and the capabilities of a material, we really sort of like try to push it towards the edge and see what could we actually do with this. And glass is one of those materials which is so versatile, and it'll never fail you. You can innovate as much as you want, and it's a very solid material there for us. So I'm glad to have been part of this.
Thank you so much. Your deep knowledge and experience in this field have provided us with valuable insights that enhance our understanding of glass in interior projects. The knowledge you shared today is invaluable, especially as we continue to innovate and push the boundaries of how glass can be used in home interiors. As we wrap up today's webinar, we hope you leave inspired to explore new ways to incorporate glass into your own projects, pushing the boundaries of design and enriching the environments you create. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing how you bring these insights to life in your future designs. This is mainly for the viewers. So once again, on behalf of all of us at Glass Academy and Ethos Empowers, a huge thank you to you, ma'am, and we deeply appreciate you for taking out your valuable time to join with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.